understand how anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last.
Ilia Topuria made headlines this week. He said that he would relinquish the belt if he was forced to fight Arman Tsarukyan. I'm not saying that Ilia is ducking Arman Tsarukyan. I'm saying that Ilia is messing very, very strongly with Arman Tsarukyan.
I mean, the guy's the #1 contender, and to say that you would rather relinquish the belt than fight him it's not how it works, man. If the guy's #1 and the UFC says, this is the guy, you're the champ, you're holding that belt, that's who you fight. I mean, it's just...
Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
Ilia Topuria is catching heat after publicly turning down a title fight with one contender, Arman Tsarukyan, a move that not only infuriated Arman, but also surprised many MMA veterans, who are now calling him out for ducking and disrespecting a challenger they believe has earned his shot.
War champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for her.
Arman Tsarukyan clapped back at Ilia Topuria on Instagram, mocking him for acting like Conor McGregor and accusing him of ducking real competition by refusing to fight the #1 contender, saying true champions don't run from top-ranked challengers, and questioning his self-proclaimed BMF status. Tsarukyan even tossed in a Spanish jab, asking how to tell Ilia he's embarrassing the belt. Their criticism was echoed by Michael Bisping, who praised Topuria's talent but admitted he was confused by Ilia backing out after previously agreeing, and Paul Felder, who was far more direct, blasting champions who chase only money, fights, and arguing Topuria is already a big enough draw and shouldn't be avoiding worthy opponents like Tsarukyan.
I'm the biggest fan of Ilia, right? I love how he carries himself. Every interaction I've had, he's so respectful. He's obviously a monster inside the octagon. He's technically brilliant. He's a class act. He's awesome. He's awesome. But why is he saying that? I think he's just saying it to get under his skin. But do you think he actually, I mean, he said he would, and we've got to hold him to his word.
Yeah, can only take him at his word at this point. But I hate it. I saw that and I was like, come on, man, here we go. Here we go again. Now you got a champion who's just looking for the biggest thing. And it's like, look, the UFC is not going to try to put you in a position that's not going to be a big thing. And I think you're getting into a position, Ilia, where you are the thing. They don't need the other guy to necessarily be the thing. You're the guy that people want to see. So you could be fighting some kid they pull off.
Paul Felder voiced his disappointment over Ilia Topuria refusing to face Arman Tsarukyan, saying he's tired of champions ducking deserving challengers and looking for easier options, and adding that if Ilia truly thinks Arman isn't on his level, the only real way to prove it is by stepping into the cage and beating him.
I mean, the guy's the #1 contender, and to say that you would rather relinquish the belt than fight him come on, man, we're getting a little carried away. And we've talked about this before, where these guys in this generation of fighters, when they get to this top position now, are so willing to jump around weight classes and try to deny fighting guys. It's like, that's not how it fucking works, man. If the guy's #1 and the UFC says, this is the guy, you're the champ, you're holding that belt, that's who you fight. I mean, it's just,
I agree.
If you're the best, and he's not on your level and all this kind of stuff, then prove it. Just go out there and prove it.
Daniel Cormier backed Arman Tsarukyan as the rightful next challenger for Ilia Topuria's lightweight title, arguing that his past weight miss happened only once and shouldn't overshadow how professional he's been lately, even making weight. As a backup in the last fight, Cormier said there's no debate. The next title shot should be Tsarukyan versus Topuria, and added that no one else in the division, whether it's Paddy Pimblett or Justin Gaethje, has a stronger case, because Tsarukyan has already proven he can hang with the best and has done more than enough to deserve his shot at the belt.
Understand how anyone in this weight class can say that they should get a title shot over Arman Tsarukyan. He was the #1 contender for the last year. He was in line to fight for the belt in Los Angeles, and then it didn't happen. It was because his back went out, right? Some people were saying it was a weight issue. Well, today...
Don Hooker believes many top lightweights are quietly sidestepping a fight with Arman Tsarukyan, not because of any personal issue, but because Arman is one of the most dangerous and difficult opponents in the division. In Hooker's view, fighters may offer public excuses to avoid facing him, but the real reason is that Tsarukyan has the ability to make even elite contenders look bad once the cage door closes.
He's a very good fighter, and now all those big name guys they've got a good excuse
to not fight him. You know, like Ilia said, he's not going to fight him. The UFC says that he needs one more. That's always the fight I want, and not because he's a prick and I hate him, but because I genuinely think that he's the harder fight, and all those big name guys have like an excuse to not fight him, because I think he is the best at winning fights. Like, he's not necessarily the most dangerous fighter. Like, Oliver is very dangerous. Gaethje's very dangerous. I think he's the best at winning fights. And so a lot of these guys have a justifiable reason to avoid fighting.
Dan Hooker believes the UFC might book Ilia Topuria against Paddy Pimblett. Not because it's the toughest matchup, but because it makes the most business sense. It's a lower-risk fight with a higher payday, unlike dangerous contenders like Arman Tsarukyan or Justin Gaethje. So if Ilia is thinking smart, he'll pick the easier fight that still brings in big money.
The thing is, they might actually do Paddy, which is like an absolute piss take, where he fights Chandler and then gets the title shot. Is like an absolute piss take. But who cares at the end of the day? Like, he's not going to hold the belt for very long. Like, and also, if you're in Ilia's shoes, like, logically he should be fighting Arman, but he's not going to, because Arman's a really tough fighter. And if I'm sitting there with the title and I'm getting pay-per-view points and I have to fight Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, or Paddy Pimblett, well, I would take the hardest guy. But if you're smart, all right, you take Paddy Pimblett. You're going to get the most money because there's a lot of animosity. You're going to get the most money and the worst fighter. So it's like a win-win situation.
Javier Mendez believes Arman Tsarukyan is the one lightweight who could truly push Ilia Topuria, pointing out that Arman's relentless mix of striking and high pressure wrestling poses a unique challenge Ilia hasn't really dealt with yet. While he respects Topuria's skills, especially his takedown defense, Mendez thinks Tsarukyan's relentless pace and ground control could test him in ways no one else in the division can.
Tsarukyan would be the one that, in my opinion, might give him the most problems, because Arman's not going to stand with him. Arman's going to make it a grappling war. So it's going to be a war of nutrition. Can Ilia survive the continuous ground attack that Arman's going to put on him? And that would be the test. Can he do that? I don't know. Maybe he can. I mean, look what he did to Charles. Charles came in for the takedown. He freaking switched it on him midair. That was very impressive.
Din Thomas believes Arman Tsarukyan would be Ilia Topuria's hardest matchup, saying Arman's smart use of distance and well-timed takedowns make him a much bigger challenge than someone like Paddy Pimblett. Although Din thinks Ilia would dominate Paddy if they fought, he admits Paddy might still end up getting the title shot. First, because of his popularity and the ongoing rivalry between them.
Is the most likely to get the title shot?
I think Paddy is still most likely to get it right now. He's just gonna have to be fair with the number.
Yeah, he's gonna have to be. Who's best suited to be the most competitive with Topuria out of those?
Arman.
Gaethje, Paddy, or Arman?
Arman.
Dricus du Plessis spoke highly of Ilia Topuria and even predicted he'll one day be in the Hall of Fame, recalling how from their early days in the UFC, Ilia always seemed different. He praised Topuria's well-rounded skills and impressive run of knockout wins over respected veterans, saying that Ilia has already proven himself as one of the biggest names in the sport.
I'm so happy for him. I think, we made our debuts on the same fight card. He was literally in my changing room. We were on the same trajectory, winning our titles 1 month apart. So I'm super happy for him. I think he's one of those special characters. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt. Unbeaten. He's the first unbeaten guy to have 2 titles. So I'm super happy for him, and I rate him very highly. And as an all-around fighter, and obviously striking power, knocking out 3 legends, I think he's incredible. And in my opinion, one of the best, if not the best, in the UFC.
UFC pros have been slamming Ilia Topuria after he made it clear he has no intention of fighting Arman Tsarukyan anytime soon, insisting Arman hasn't earned a title shot and questioning whether he could even stay healthy and dependable enough to make it to fight night, going so far as to say he'd rather give up his belt than agree to that matchup. Let us know in the comments what you think about Arman's situation, and don't forget to subscribe for more UFC updates.